What is this hilariously expensive vehicle?
So a 66 Lincoln Continental, which is a pretty cool car, convertible, it's the four-door car, it's convertible with suicide doors, whatever. So it was $1 million.
Hey, cars.
Like
What?
1 million, like $1 million. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had a Coyote in it, and I'm sure it was on a custom chassis, and it had some big rims and stuff. But it's like I don't know what made it so special, and why somebody had such a hard on about. I mean, $1 million. I just seen somebody post like that hangover's gonna hurt today, like because
What
I'm sure everybody gets hammered up and
was it JFK's
big.
Continental? I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, I don't understand why. It was like a light blue metallic or something like that, light blue or light cream metallic, light blue. I think it was. Anyways, yeah. There's a lot of other shit there's a lot of like '60s Corvettes on custom chassis with basically full blown retro mods that were like well, it seemed like every one of them was like in the 300s, the 400s, 400, 300, $400,000. It's just like nonstop cars coming through, and it was like the best of the best of the best. I did see like one of the coolest Camaros I've ever seen, like a 60 first gen Camaro, like 60. I think it must have been a 69 or something. I can't, but yeah, it was like really, really crazy. That thing went for a ton of money too. But there's seemed like there was a lot of GTs that were for sale too, like Ford GTs, the new ones, the '05 ish, '05, I think it came out again,
Right.
somewhere in there. Those were like going for 400, 500, which I never thought those things were going to get that expensive. I don't think anybody did.
No. Yeah.
Lock the keys in one of those. Yeah.
You didn't Slim Jim the Ford GT, did you?
No. I blame Ford for all of it though, because they're the ones that had a shitty interior door panel that fell off. So I had to glue it back on. And so as I'm gluing it on, I must have bumped the lock or something. So I shut the door. I'm like, oh yeah, it didn't. So that the problem was they shut the door and this panel would fall off. So I shut the door. I'm like, oh yeah, looked inside, it didn't fall off. Went to open the door again. I'm like, whoopsies! Like keys in the center console.
And then you got to
What are
go,
you gonna do?
hey, need a help.
Yeah, we've just put Go Jacks underneath of it, pushed it inside, and then they mailed us another key. Which, I mean, I felt really bad, but also shit happens. Whatever. Nothing got wrecked. Like
No, now they have a
that's
spare
the
key.
biggest thing. It's like the worst thing that happened is we spent 15 minutes putting Go Jacks underneath it and pushing it inside. Like, well,
Can live with that.
I fixed it. In fact, I fixed it. I didn't wreck it. I fixed it. All right.
Positives. Hmm.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But yeah, there's
Yeah.
some crazy expensive car. Crazy.
So yesterday I did a very small dipping my toes into what it's like trying to align body panels on a brand new repopped muscle car. And I understand that you haven't been dipping your toes. You're kind of dove into the deep end of the pool on this 58 you're working on with the same kind of situation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's you have to approach it differently. It's you're approaching it differently than like a restoration because on a restoration or something with original panels, you're trying to mimic what the original like the originality of it and how it fit originally. Kind
Right.
of, you're still trying to make it fit better, but when you do an aftermarket, it's so like I hope there's so many panels that could be like an eighth inch off, and then you get like to the end and they're like a half inch off and shit. Yeah, it can get very overwhelming very quickly.
I was just like giving a hand to my buddy. He was re-welding the pads for the trunk lid where it bolted to the hinges to get the height right where it meets the sail panel in the corners and all that. And
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is just you cut a weld and move it, and then that'll correct it. And what's
yeah,
nice about aftermarket stuff is the welds really aren't that great. You can cut the welds pretty easily. Some of the welds are like I think we were talking last time, they're just like buzzed on the sides and stuff. So
yeah, it was it's interesting. And then because it seems like the panel's brand new, like the deck lid, the where the inner skin and the outer skin fold over each other, there's no like seam sealer or panel bonding or a spot weld in the corner or anything. So like you try to flex on those panels and you just got two panels sliding on each other, and they don't really want to. You can't just like put a motion in it and bend it real easy. It takes a little bit more giving,
Sometimes once you get it there, then you know go inside and put a tack on that from the inner to the outer,
right?
and that's like as soon as you get it where you want it, you do that, and then that's holding everything in place.
Yeah, because the deck lid had pretty big crown to it, and then the sail panel actually it's a 70 Chevelle. This sail panel actually had a little dip to it in the middle and the back. So between the two, it looked really bad. And I was like, well, we can take some of the crown out of the trunk lid that's excessive, and then the sail panel's still going to need to be straightened out. So he's going to slit the low area, pick it up to where it needs to be, and then re-weld it because you just on a I understand the future of this car, and I'll tell you about that off the podcast because I don't want to be telling other people's business. But in a kind of car going that's going to be calling for the dollars that it is, like you're seeing on Barrett Jackson, you don't want to be just skim coating that to get rid of a low spot in the metal on, especially on a jam. You know what I mean? Where a sail panel at deck lid meet. So
Yeah, you don't
yeah,
want to be building the corner of the panel with filler.
yeah, you don't want any of that. So I was helping you know, from somebody that's used to moving metal, helping kind of minimize the amount of work he was going to do by, sometimes you take a little crown out of the deck lid where it's excessive, and then the sail panel doesn't need as much work. And so I was doing stuff like that, getting the corners right, and the whole edge of the deck lid that met the sail panel, like that front edge, was it was high in the middle, low by where the hinges were, and then high in the corners. So it had like a woo. So I was
It's pretty
reshaping.
typical though.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. As far as like how it's made, it makes total sense why it's done, why it is shaped
Yeah,
that way. It's just like I said, when you're trying to get all that corrected and the inner and the outer are just sliding on each other every time you flex it and try to
yeah.
put some bend into it, it's pretty annoying. But that's the way it goes.
I think the best tip you can do is when you're aligning that deck lid is put a good tack in it, but make sure it's in a spot where you can get a cutoff wheel. Because
Yeah.
you'll tack it sometimes and you think it's right, you know, and then you'll be like, I just need to cut it loose and it needs a little bit more or something like that. So some of it's like just make sure it's in a good cuttable area where you can loosen it back up again. And don't do a good tack. Do a shitty one so you can cut it loose.
Yeah.
You know, you
I,
burn through and hit that outer skin, you're fucked when you
it's
try
called
and
a
cut it
tack,
again.
not a spot weld.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's even like that the deck lid skin on the Mustang, the '66 Mustang. We took it off to put the spoiler, weld the spoiler to the outer skin, and then put it back on. But it was to me it being aftermarket that was nice because you didn't have that bonding material like a actual new car would. So you didn't have to get through all that. It was just uncrimping the flange and pulling it off. You know, that was pretty nice. I thought, you know, for doing custom work, like if you needed to remove that skin, you could do it very easily, you know.
Yeah. How's that 58 coming together?
So we got spent like more than a couple of days on it. I got the engine. We just decided that the engine needed to be moved back for basically enough room in front of the engine for uh, accessories, be able to get the intake that he's got the intake whipped around and just basically room for the radiator that he already has and stuff like that. So we got the engine moved back 2 inches. So I cut the firewall open because he bought it with a stock firewall, um, which I'm glad he didn't get the recessed firewall from Premier because it's just like this is like a shaped stamped firewall. The recessed one is just like flat, recessed in flat. It's just like a bunch of it's just
Break.
it's made a break.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm glad he didn't get that because we can actually make a nice one with sheet metal, and actually blend it into the firewall and stuff. But so we got that moved back, and then I took a little bit out of the radiator support. There's like a square tube. It's for lack of a better term, square tubing that holds the radiator in the factory position. We just got rid of the height of that square tubing and moved it forward just a little bit, maybe like 3/4 of an inch. So I think between the 2 inches back with the motor and then 3/4 of an inch forward, we definitely have enough room for the stuff we need underneath the hood now. And then he did bring some. The customer brought some. He already has tires and then those jigs that you basically find your offset and all that stuff. So we're gonna jig the tires up on the car, and then he brought some headers. The headers that I mean, they fit really well. It's just because we moved the engine back, the brake pedal is almost like at full extension. It's like just touching the header that he brought. So I think if I like just the corner of the brake pedal, right, is like I think if you just bent, like put it in a brake and just bent that one corner out, I think it'd be fine. I have a couple ideas, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I'm not really. When after dealing with that Mustang and all the pedal problems that thing has, this is like a breeze. It seems very, very like just a lot easier. I don't know, a lot less intimidating.
Right. Did you get the motor mounts cut and rewelded on that Roadster Shop chassis?
Yeah, I have. I just have them tacked in now because I didn't want to, fully weld them in case we had to move it or a little bit or anything like that. But yes, it was super easy. Like the hardest part was probably. I mean, it really wasn't that hard to be really to be honest. It was really not that hard at all. The mounts for the transmission, there's like a foot length of adjustment. The only thing that I ran into was I couldn't move the engine back any farther than what it is right now without going another full inch because it was on the next slot of adjustment for the transmission mount. And I don't think it would have really started getting into the interior of the truck and started messing with pedal arrangements and probably getting close to messing with HVAC stuff just because it would have been bubbled out a little farther. So I wouldn't have moved it back any farther if it was my truck. Like that's where I would want it. Looks pretty. I mean, it's sitting pretty nice now. I like it.
Nice. One thing, it seems like every time anybody sees a picture of these cars, like the 58 or like the one I sent to the Chevelle yesterday to you, with those orange like mock-up wheels, everybody's
Yeah,
like,
dude. What is with that? I know exactly where you're going.
everybody has a
What are they
comment
going to do
like,
with those wheels?
what's with those things?
What is with these things? I don't understand.
What a dragster or something?
Yeah,
The offset's
I
terrible.
just. Yeah, I don't. Those things these wheels have been around forever. Like
Right.
I don't know, at least 15 years, maybe 10 years, maybe. I don't know. But
Is Roadster Shop
yeah,
sending those on the chassis? Is that why we're seeing it more?
I I'm sure you can probably order it with them now.
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm
sure.
wondering.
These guys bought them.
Oh,
These guys
okay.
bought them themselves. So these are theirs, but I'll be probably acquiring them because they don't really
Then they
have a
can
need
build
for
another
them
one.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably even those rim jigs or those tire jigs to mock up on a car for rims. I'm probably gonna try and work a deal out with them on those as well. Just
Have in the
it's
shop.
just something else in the tool belt, that you can use and not have to rely on other people for. So I mean, rim size stuff it can get sticky quick when you're talking to different rim companies because it seems like I mean, I don't think everybody measures some stuff differently, but some people reference different measurements. So it'd be nice to have like, this is exactly what it is. So,
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and how much does wheel and tire fitment to the wheel arch change a car completely? You know what I mean? So like it's a pretty important thing to get right.
it can make and break a car, I think.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I'll look at a car, like a really done up car, and I'll be like, wait a minute, that offset's so wrong. But if it's still in a shop, I'm like, well, hopefully that's just like a temporary set of wheels. Because I mean, how many times has anybody done that? You know what I mean? You're 90% done with the build and you're like, still haven't picked out the wheels, or, it's an expensive purchase if you're getting good
Yeah,
ones.
for sure. And even that you can get the set of wheels on it. And like on the Mustang, I think we're going to put on that 66, I think we're going to put spacers just to bump the wheel out just a little bit more because it looks good, but I think it just needs a little bit of It needs a little bit out, like
A little more
half inch.
attitude. Yeah.
Not much. It just needs a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I can tell you my truck changed completely just by having the width. Yeah, so what you're saying is they're not going to run those orange wheels forever?
No, he actually showed me some. He doesn't have. He's got a wheel in mind, and he showed me the design, and I've. It looked pretty. It was like a 5-spoke ish design, but it was pretty rad. It was like a brand new wheel that somebody had just come out with. So it'd be cool if he got some spanking new wheel that nobody has.
Yeah.
But they're 20s all the way around, so it should look pretty sassy. I mean, the back, they'll be tucking rim in the back. Drive just casual driving. It's pretty rad.
There is a dark green, I think I might have sent you a video, but same body style pickup that runs around my neighborhood on occasion. And yeah, it's like dark green. And I think they may have the roof panel black. But
Sure.
the guy, I've seen him, he's got a couple of different cars where he's got like green tint. He's got like a 30s hot rod, kind of traditional, but it's got like green tint on it. He's definitely got a green thing. But it works. I bet they look really sweet when you got like 2 or 3 of them parked next to each other with a theme. And yeah, it's low. It's got some pretty decent wheels on it, and yeah, they definitely have an attitude when they're sitting right.
Yeah, this thing's sitting on the ground. I mean, it's gonna sit. It was gonna sit higher because this. Excuse me. These mock-up wheels are like really short, you know. So, but on the ground, that thing is like it's low. Like it's low. Like pretty sure it's the lowest, like coilover chassis you can buy. Like it's low. It's pretty
Sweet.
cool.
When I was in Wyoming in college, I almost bought, I was trying to buy. I probably didn't have the funds as if I'm recalling correctly, but there was a '58 Apache 4-wheel drive, leaf
Oh
sprung,
yeah.
solid axle up front. Oh my god, it was the coolest thing. Black and white, like old paint. You know what I mean? It was all like had the right patina. Who knows what motor the thing had in it? I don't remember, but it was cool. Running and driving '58 4-wheel drive straight axle.
Yeah, that wouldn't suck. That'd be pretty cool. There's a lot. That stuff's getting big now, man. The prices of the 4-wheel drive stuff, like just your. I mean, it's not nothing special to me. Like a or like for 70 Blazer, like
Right.
nuts money. You know, nice chassis and a LS or something, and they go for like $200,000-300,000. It's crazy.
So other than the obscenely priced Lincoln Continental, what else was standing out at the Barrett Jackson?
Friday night we watched a bunch of stuff, and there was like a lot of I would say cheaper resto mods. When I say cheaper, they were all around. You know, they were still up to 100. You know, 200.
Cheap.
Nothing like yeah, cheap. I mean, there was a prototype Ford GT, which was pretty cool. It was still in raw carbon. It was like it had a trailer hitch on it, but it's like the last gen GT that they did.
Yep.
So it was like when they were demoing that, and it's like you can tell it's rough, and they beat the shit out of that car. You can tell it's, but it was just stupid money, you know. GT people, you know, dumb.
I want to have
And then
something beat up.
they sold Corvette C8 I'm sorry, ZR1X, but it was like some special edition stars and something, and it was like a donation car or something. You know, that's something for charity, and it sold for like over $2 million. And it, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it sold for over $2 million. Like it's a charity and write off stuff. Like, come
Right.
on, guys.
Yeah. What is the X? Is it like all-wheel drive or something? Crazy?
I believe X is so you know like the E-Ray has the front the electric motors in the front wheels.
Gotcha.
I believe the X is the extra electric motor on each front wheel, so it makes it all-wheel drive. So you
Yeah.
have the most
Hybrid.
11. Yeah, so basically it's like a 1200, makes it like a 1200 horsepower or something like that, somewhere close to that.
That's enough, I guess.
I was watching, we're me and wife were having a couple drinks at a local bar, and they had I don't know if it was a rerun of a race, but it would look like there were Corvettes in it and McLarens, Porsches. I don't know what race it was or where it was because I was too far away to like read it. But there were, I would assume, like the ZR1 or whatever the racing Corvette was, and there were cars just lapping that thing. It was, I don't know, like there were like, like the supercars we send back and forth every once in a while. Like
Right.
those cars were racing with the Corvette. So I don't know if it was multi classes running together or something like that potentially, but it looked pretty awesome.
Speaking of
I
that,
kept that.
went to Hooters yesterday, and definitely the best thing to look at, Ferrari 458.
You'll
Yeah,
have that.
we were sitting at dinner and we kept hearing like this. We heard a rev. My wife heard a rev, and she's like, "You didn't hear that?" And I was like, "Hear what?" And I was just kind of zoned out watching bullfighting on the TV, and
Yeah,
eat,
sure.
eating fried pickles, watching bullfighting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then all of a sudden you hear it again. It's like almost sounded like a super bike. It's like, what the heck was that? And
Sure.
then when we were walking out after making sure to buy my teenager a Hooters hat so he can look cool for all his friends.
Sick.
I think he might have slept in it, but uh
That's not all.
we walked out and I saw the back of the Ferrari with like the little wing on it, and I could tell it had some over fenders on it, and I was like, "Hey, check that out." And then we were drooling in the parking lot, and it was parked like right next to our van, so it was kind of hilarious. But
Sick.
yeah, they look like brother and sister, the Sienna and the 458. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
baby.
Uh, the like the really good shaped brother and then the fat sister. But
What is that? What is that Ferrari having for a motor? Do you know?
I, I want to say it's probably a 10. It looked like the same Ferrari engine that was in that Spider that I was in, the 430 or whatever. Um, so it's probably a V10. It sounded good, but they definitely had exhaust on it. They had they had two wings on it. I didn't care for the second one. They had the angle
So
on it wasn't right. I don't know. Like it looked like it would cause as much
I mean,
lift as it does
I'm not saying
downforce.
like one wing, let alone fucking two wings. Yucky.
Well, so what a lot of the Japanese, so it has a Liberty Walk, or it had a Liberty Walk over or
I mean, I
body
get
kit.
it.
So it had
Yeah.
the over fenders, which is a $30,000 kit with the wing and then the front lip and whatever. Yeah. And then on top of that, they had so they have the little gull wing, or not gull, like a ducktail on the back, and then above the
Yeah.
ducktail they have like a regular wing. So they have what do they call that? Like where the spoiler kind of comes from the back bumper up, or like the tail panel up.
They call it downforce, baby.
Downforce bay. I'm telling you, the angle on it, I was like, I hope they just got that put on because the wing didn't have the wing ends on it, like the end plates, and then it was like the curve of the wings, like this. It was like
Yeah.
banana, like it's gonna scoop air and lift the back end up. But maybe it's good for high speed burnouts. I'm I'm
I
I'm
mean, I don't think any of them are good for high. I mean, they're not going fast enough to where it's going to fucking matter anyway. Do you really think? I don't think so.
I bet you. A good big wing, you could feel it on the highway, even on like
I mean,
crappy
I
cars.
believe.
But I'm sure that car's
I
planted
just don't
enough.
think it's downforce, but I think you're just gonna lose more fuel economy than anything. That's all you're gonna do.
You're not driving the wide body 458 for fuel economy. You're driving it to impress Hooters girls. That's why you park it at the Hooters and rev it up when you get there.
Yeah. Can't believe maybe he's I don't know. Ferrari people, man.
I told my kid that's going to be us. It's going to be us. 10, 15 years. We're going to be cutting up Ferraris.
Ferraris, yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun. That would really be fun.
Oh, just to be like, oh, I got this Ferrari, but I think I'm going to spend 30 grand on some bolt-on fender flares.
Yeah, right.
That'd
Yeah,
be
that would
sick.
be rough. Uh, I don't think I could do that. I mean, it'd take a lot of. I mean, I don't think I would like one kit enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to spend 30 grand on it,
And then
and then
cut
have.
my Ferrari up.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd be buying a different car.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound insane to broke boys like us, but the 458 isn't like that high of a model anymore. That's like two to three generations ago. So
From the shit I saw last night, that's small potatoes.
small potatoes.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's a ton of fun.
From what I saw on that one that my buddy was working on though, and videos I've seen online of how the Ferrari frames are built and welded and stuff, like don't want to say car builder, but as a guy that's had my hands on a lot of things, um, it's a little disappointing some of the stuff. Now,
Suspect.
maybe it handles so insane that you don't care. I don't, I mean, I haven't really driven one, so I don't know.
I mean, I don't think anybody that's I would say 99% of Ferrari owners won't take it apart to even see that. So
And
how
won't
would
push
they
it hard
ever?
enough to know.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sure if there ever was a problem with engineering that I mean, just because it's a shitty weld doesn't mean it doesn't hold,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
you
oh,
know.
absolutely. Um, it's just weird when you think of a Ferrari and then you're like looking at kind of like, I don't want to say careless, but you know what I mean? Like, they weren't high priority production welds. They're
Mhm.
just kind of like they're just sticking stuff together.
I can't remember what company it was. Was it McLaren or a smaller company? I thought it was maybe McLaren. I can't. Maybe it's not McLaren, but maybe it was Koenigsegg or something. That they had some art. I seen some article that they were wanting to make more affordable supercars. I was like, that's pretty interesting.
It's
Like,
nice.
I'm sure it's hard to sell like a car that's over $1 million. You know, you got to have people on board before you even start manufacturing the thing.
I gotta say, I would have thought that too until I moved to Florida and I just watched the blatant money everywhere, and it's like literally insane.
Yeah. God damn it! Now I got to go to Florida.
It's like a whole different world. Now I was talking to my friend about his shop labor rates, which are great labor rates, but he was saying that there isn't actually a lot more room to go up from there unless you had really a wicked client base, because I don't know if it's just competitive or hard to sell higher labor rates at some point. I mean, yeah, I know you deal with that with your stuff. You know
Mm.
what I mean? A little percentage wise, you're a little different than what they're at here, but like I've told you other friends' shops what they can claim for a labor rate and still have a wait list, but it's kind of like the way I look at it is as a guy that was a painter. You can buy a quart of Deltron DBC or you can buy Shopline in the same color. And you're going to use three times the Shopline to get the coverage of
Yeah.
the
Oh
Deltron.
yeah.
So it might have been a lower rate, but if you have more material, or in this case, say you get a lower rate from another shop, but the guys aren't as good and the work isn't as good, and it takes
Yeah.
twice to three times the billable hours to get the same amount of
Mm.
work done, and then you don't, I mean, then
It's,
it's
it's
hard,
hard to it's hard to equate that though, for even from a
right?
customer standpoint. Like how do you know that?
You
How do
don't.
you know what kind of value you don't know what kind of value you're going to get? That's why everybody's that's why this industry is interesting because I mean, in my area, there's some of these guys that really shit where they eat to a certain extent. They don't. there's a there's a couple of people in the area that I can't believe they still exist for how they run their business. So, um, yeah, it can vary, and there's still people bringing restorations to them. It's nuts, you know.
I'm not crapping on anybody either. I mean, these people are doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like I might pick on a Ferrari weld, but Ferrari's doing stuff that I'll never do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this isn't a bashing hour. This is just
yeah. I mean, even
observation.
in where your buddy's shop is, that's got to be. I mean, I can't imagine what renting or owning that shop would cost in that town. It's probably a lot a month. I'm
10,
sure it's at least what's that?
10 minutes from the beach too.
I'm sure it's double or triple what my rent is. It's got to
Uh,
be.
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you after, but it's a lot.
Yeah. And that's where the dollar an hour. That's where it's like. That's where I'm sure where he's saying you can't go up too much farther, be just solely because your overhead is X, and it's hard to get. There's a everybody's got a margin,
Yeah, and you also have to have a labor rate that's not scaring people away, so you can have a scheduled log of work upcoming.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You want to it's better to have 2 years of work set up and make 5% less, or you know what I mean, whatever it is.
it's a lot of that is just knowing your market, where you are, what other people are charging for similar work. But if you're the only guy in the area doing it, you can kind of, to a certain extent, set your rate. As long as you're still busy, you can set your rate wherever you want to be. But
If
um,
there's the demand, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I would suspect it's a little more flooded in the restoration. Like, there's got to be quite a like few shops in that area, right? No,
From what I'm understanding, there really is not that much. There's like a few in South Florida, like
sure.
on that coast, and like from what his customers are telling him, his high-end customers are telling him, they just can't get what they want out of most of them. Not to say all of them, you know what I mean? They're just saying like a lot of them. They came to him and they said, "Hey, your quote is a lot higher. Your estimate is a lot higher than your competitors. But we also see things on your estimate that we don't see on others." And he like explained it all, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense."
These guys are giving estimates
They give like a loose, this is about where we would expect to land up,
like
but it's
like a loose ballpark. I would hope.
yeah, yeah. He's like, because they're like,
Holy cow,
what?
you get yourself in some trouble there because they make like three decisions along the way, and they can add like 100 grand.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just like a baseline of what it would be expected for, how much time
Sure.
for panel alignment, how much time for primer and paint and blocking. It's just a ballpark. Um, they're called estimates for a reason because things change all the time, obviously. But
Well, and I mean, some of it is state law stuff. So, like, state of Wisconsin requires you either have a time and materials contract or an estimate to work from. So I just do time and material contracts because the writing an estimate is like, you can, as well as I do, you pull the paint off something and it's like, well, that's all out the window.
yeah, and I mean, and this one is a brand new car. Not that that
Yeah.
doesn't bring its own problems, but
The problem, yeah, that's the thing too. It's like, now you have a new car. You what's not estimatable is taking that aftermarket body to this super high quality. So it's like, that's one, maybe if 10 people in the whole country have done that, and they're all to different specs. So it's unestimatable, to a
yeah,
certain extent. You can
he said,
ballpark it, but
yeah, he said every job that they have is time and materials. But I think I think the customer comes in and say, "What do you expect for hours to do this, hours to do that?" Like
sure,
where you
sure,
got to give them a loose range, and then obviously I would like to think there's a
sure.
time and material contract, but
Yeah, yeah. There's that. I mean, I'm sure there is.
but yeah, I don't even remember where we were
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
But oh, he was saying it was a lot higher, but then
Me neither.
the customer's like, yeah, but you're also I get it. And you're also not just like one guy that's in a shop, like in the shop behind his house somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Whereas that's what a lot of the
Yeah.
restoration stuff
Yep.
is. Not that that's bad. You
Yeah.
started
I
in
mean,
your
which,
garage, you know.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad either. And I think a lot of people that have had shops have downsized to stuff like that, which I can totally see myself, like, not saying it would be downsizing, but I could see myself having a shop in the back of a house, you know, on
Oh yeah,
days like today where it's, what is it, 4 degrees out right now? It's super hot. This whole, like, last 2 days, it's been the high in the middle of the day has been -20. So driving anywhere, it's balls. Nothing works. When it's negative. I think the low was -53 or something that one night. This is
yeah,
stupid.
yeah. And I think if you had the shop you have behind your house, it doesn't change anything that it's by your house, or like that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
went and looked
I
at a
totally agree.
property that was a house and a shop, and the shop was
Yeah,
professional. It wasn't like,
yeah, yeah.
so it's not really the same thing. That's not what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. There's a difference between working in a
Yeah, I
barn
get it.
that's like,
Well,
just some
yeah, I
dude's
mean, to
garage.
a certain extent, you don't the that's what's interesting about this industry is you're being compared to people that do have like a garage in their backyard, like a two-stall garage, and you're being compared to these people, and your labor rates are compared and like to one another. Like you try not to compare yourself to other people, but when you're in the when there's customers shopping around for somebody, that's what's happening is you're being compared to all the other businesses around. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
so yeah, it's interesting. Like there's a shop 45 minutes from me that sprays everything in the center of a 4,000 square foot area. It's like, and he'll post pictures of a foggy room. Soon he's not the clear isn't even like cleared out of the room with his single fan in the window. So he's taking pictures of it before the clear's even set. Like it's like hilarious.
Hopefully he's not
But
hashtagging the EPA on that.
yeah, that's a whole nother. Let's not get into that on camera.
Hashtag EPA. Hashtag uh
Well, the problem with that is the EPA doesn't take care of it. It's the DNR's. It comes under the provision of the DNR, and they
oh,
don't really know the laws. So it's not like you can call somebody from the DNR and be like, "This guy's spraying in his shop and it's illegal." The DNR person's going to be like, "I don't really care." They
are
have
they
their
shooting
hands.
deer on corn piles? That's what we're worried about.
Yeah, that's what they're worried about. They're not worried about some
I
one guy in shop.
If there's one thing that I already knew but definitely learned in Florida is you got to know to just mind your own business anyways.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. You just got to keep the target off yourself. That's
Absolutely.
yeah. Is that why you get away with jumping vehicles in your yard?
I mean, what are they going to do? What's anybody going to do? There's no noise ordinance till 10 p.m. I'm on private
Sure.
property.
Yeah. You're just pulling off the road at 40 miles an hour. That'd be hilarious.
No,
Like the biggest complaint is you're speeding into your driveway. He just doesn't slow down.
no, there's too many kids around to be doing that, but the neighbor kids were definitely all outside watching me jump the Honda yesterday.
Nice. That's awesome though. Now you mess those kids up for life. They're gonna want to be doing that shit. That's awesome. That's everything. That's what gets our kids into cars though. They're seeing people like us fucking with them. For real.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
these people have been across the street and they'll be outside riding bikes, and then I'm like building the truck from crappy blown up Tundra to full on, pre-runner looking thing.
Yeah. That's everything for some of these. I mean, that's what gets kids into the industry
Right,
or into the auto industry for sure. Yeah.
bro. This industry is getting so
Yeah.
sad. Like there's just nobody.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
The fact that
Yeah.
I'm
It's
being recruited for a job 2 hours away should tell something. Should say the state of affairs.
like I'm in Wisconsin and I'm telling you the industry needs you even if it's in Florida because that's how I mean that's literally like it needs quality professionals that I mean have a head on their shoulders to work on cars and it seems like everybody left. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like we just didn't re-up like like the old guys are going, and then there is no new guys. Well, I mean, look at how many
I
schools
think a
don't have the
lot of it
classes
was
anymore.
to me I don't even think it's I think it was on I think it's I mean you have probably went through the same thing but every single shop almost every single shop I worked in I was treated like the low kid on the totem pole by all the old heads.
Yep.
And there's only a very few guys that were of the previous generation that were actually nice and taught you things. Otherwise, you were just treated like the idiot in the corner. So to me, it was almost like internal poison. It's not even like the employers. It's some of it was the employees and that generation that just
Right.
weren't sympathetic to the people coming in. I mean, that's what I personally I think it was just a lot of generational.
Trauma.
I don't even know what. Maybe you could say that, but I don't know. Like,
In their defense, sometimes I was the idiot in the corner.
Yeah, but isn't there, they were too at one point.
Absolutely. We
And
all are.
because they got their ass kicked or they got their ass chewed until they got it right doesn't mean that that's right for the next generation or anybody in the future. Like hurt people kind of a thing. That's literally what,
Absolutely.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying all these guys were hurt people, but if that's the what they were grew up in, that's what they're going to try and keep pushing forward. I don't know. We're getting kind of deep now, aren't we?
This is getting deep.
But it is true. I mean, I think there's it's it just doesn't help anything. I mean, that's why I was always sympathetic to the next generate to the people that were younger than me, and anybody that came in that was like feeling like outsider. If you're just trying to work on cars and do a good job, like let's make that happen. You know,
Right.
it doesn't have to be the holding information. I think that's bullshit.
I'm always happy to teach anybody anything that they're willing
Oh
to
yeah,
learn. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's the only way
But
I
like,
learn.
if you're trying to like learn from me and then but then like not listen, like that's sometimes that'll really piss a guy off.
Yeah.
If you're
I
not
think
absorbing, after the 10 times you're not absorbing anything, it's gonna be like, I don't know, man.
there's a lot
I've
of
had
that.
that. I've had that with the previous generation, or I mean the generation before us. There's a couple guys where they couldn't even. I was trying to teach him how to read. The dude could not read a clock. Not
Sad.
joking. A fucking circle clock with two hands. He's trying to like figure out times and in invested in these projects. Couldn't figure it out. Like I don't even know. How do you not know how to? Anyways,
I've got friends that didn't they taught themselves to read at 18 because they didn't have somebody teach them. So I guess I'm a little sympathetic. But
it's crazy. Wow, that's just never anything I was exposed to. I just figured everybody's.
yeah, it's wild. But and then especially living in Florida, I get more understanding of it sounds sad, but like people that just can't read. Like they're like almost adults and never learn to read. You're laughing, but it's sad, bro.
That is sad. It's very sad. I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
You know what else is sad? I just did a burnout with my Civic right before this podcast, and
Yeah.
there was about 10 times more smoke out the tailpipe than there was from the tires.
Hey, smoke is smoke.
Cue video now.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I sent that to my friend in Tennessee with the GTR, and I went, "Do you think the Civic motor's toast?" And he goes, "Well, it runs."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I
Um,
imagine that a lot of Honda guys get this feeling. Like I looked up in the rearview mirror as I was just like letting off the gas, and I went, "Oh man, look at all that smoke! That must have been a wicked burnout." Cue the tapes. No wicked burnout.
I was following a car yesterday that I've never like. We were a long ways away from them, and you could like almost taste the antifreeze. And it was a pretty new car. We get past the guy, and there's a turning lane or a lane to get around him, and he's just like staring at his instrument panel. I'm like, you should maybe stop. Like,
Yeah, let her cool down.
yeah. That one time that actually happened to us with our Chevy Cruze. Apparently, they don't have a fluid switch, like a sensor for fluid. It'll just say that it's overheating. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
have like, so you could be empty with coolant and you wouldn't even know it. Like it was in the middle of winter, so we went like a whole winter without having coolant in the damn thing. Yeah, pretty nuts.
Is that a testament to how good it is or how bad it is?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of stupid about the Chevy Cruze. There's like gutless and kind of like a Cavalier to a certain extent. I think it's nicer than the Cavalier, but it's still just like a cheap little car. But I mean, we've had ours. I think we got a 14, a 12 or a 14. We bought it new, little 6-speed thing, and I don't know. It's a great commuter car. I mean, it's treated us really really well. Mm.
There's definitely a place for cheap commuter cars. Um,
I mean, for us, we can't replace it with a vehicle. We won't be able to buy a 4-cylinder 6-speed car for what we have into this thing
oh yeah.
and know its history and all that bullshit, you know. So we're like, kind of have to keep it because I don't know. I don't think that kind of car is going to go away. I
I
mean, I thought it was going to
imagine
go away a lot sooner with electric cars when they were coming out and like everything's going to turn electric. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I imagine there isn't a part in that car that costs about as much as a new car's payment, like a monthly payment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I cringe when uh, the idea of hitting something with our Bronco. I can't imagine. That's going to be very expensive. Luckily, we have it's got one of those factory brush guard things on it, but I think that just pushes back into the fender and everything, anyways. You know.
Yeah. There's somebody around here that has a Bronco year style, but they have it painted like a 60s Bronco kind of. It's like I imagine the dealership had it or it was ordered that way, but I
It's
think
like white grill and stuff.
it's I think it has the white grill, but it's like a forest green, and then the panel down the doors, like for down the side of it, is white, and then I think it has the white grill, and then they've even got somebody lifted it and then put like a set of classic looking 70s truck wheels on it, so it's
So they do.
cool.
They do have a retro version of it of these like they sell.
I imagine the
So
paint
they
is
could
all factory.
spin it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
There was there's a couple cool versions of them, but like the Raptor versions of them, I think are really the flares look like a Tonka truck. Like,
Some people like that.
but it's every other Raptor like version, vehicle that's a Raptor version. It like seems like it's kind of cohesive in styling. It's just like the Bronco. It doesn't hit for me.
They just slap some flares on it because that's what they had to do.
Well, and the flare is so big that they actually have like a triangle that goes on the gas door, and like it's just like it looks so. I was looking at one in the showroom, just because I wanted to see one up close, and I'm like looking at the gas door, and I was just like, what a bunch of people! Like, there's people that got paid to engineer this gas door area with this flare. Like, they designed it that way on purpose and made this extra part, and like, come on, guys. It's just guys like, you like this thing? Like, no, I'm just checking out the problems and solutions they come up with. Like, the we have this problem and now we got to figure out a solution. It's just like sometimes I feel these companies have I not sometimes these companies have way too much fucking money. That's what I think.
No
But
name the flavor.
they're saying they're starving for money and they're like Ford's not making any money and this and that. I mean, they're all guilty of this stuff. But then they're investing heavily in off-road, aftermarket, not aftermarket off-road, but like off-road performance, on-road performance, all this different stuff. It's like, whatever. It's all just priorities of rich people.
Oh, play the game right, and you might be able to play priorities of the rich people.
Oh, I don't think it's ever going to be like that, dude. No way.
So what do
No
you got
way.
on the docket this week?
I have a cheetah coming in that we got to get ready for Autorama, Detroit Autorama. So
Nice.
I'm hoping it's not like buff my roll cage type stuff. I'm hoping it's just like exterior paint. There's supposed to be two of them coming, but the father is not going to bring his here now or something like that. Yeah, we're gonna do some videos or some recording on it just because it's a cool car in the shop.
Yeah,
The
different.
last time it was only here for like 45 minutes, so I didn't really have a great opportunity to just walk around it, kind of absorb the car. It's a pretty rad car, and cheetahs are pretty cool.
Cobra Killer,
Yeah,
supposedly.
yeah, right. This one had never. I think he just fired it up for the first time. This thing was never a completed car. It was somebody. I think the guy that started or that was putting it together had passed away, and it was like it's a black. It's painted black, and the paint like looks pretty good. It's definitely professionally done. It's pretty much a. I think it was. It had to have been from a professional standpoint, 20 hours away from being a runner. That's what it looked like to me. Like it was
Hmm.
everything's there. Just like get it fired up, make sure everything's not leaking. Probably because it's been sitting for a while. At least put a screwdriver and a wrench on stuff, make sure shit's tight. I would suspect, just because it is a kit car.
Right.
I don't know, pretty cool. I wouldn't want to get in and out of those things. The door, like the opening to get in and out of the door, is very small. Like I don't plan on going inside of it unless he wants me to, unless I have to do something inside cleaning wise. But
I think most race car drivers, like back in the day, were like horse jockeys. Pretty
yeah,
small, tight packages.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a few other things. There's a few other things I want to get to. I want to get the roof skin welded on that 69. I'd like to get some more work done on this 58. I had budgeted time for two cars to be polished this next week, and only one of them is going to show up. So that kind of frees up a little more time for just spending more time on some of this other stuff. I have a lot of parts coming for the Mustang that me and Mr. Trapper ordered. My buddy Trapper came Thursday because he's got some stuff to finish up on the exhaust, just because we were waiting for the rockers to be welded on for final placement for the last hanger and stuff like that. Um, then we just got a bunch of parts ordered for just basically plumbing, and well, the majority of it is just plumbing stuff. But we didn't have anything like I didn't have anything to run fuel lines, brake lines, all that bullshit. So just getting the initial stuff figured out as far as like what the fittings are on the car and making sure we're not moving backwards as far as like ordering a bunch of shit we don't need. So yeah,
Hmm.
pretty cool, pretty cool. And I had to make some air cleaner bottoms for those Rochester carbs in this 57 Chevy. That was pretty interesting. But I got them knocked out. I had to build a whole bottom plate. Like it didn't take too long after I got the idea figured out, but it's very tight tolerances, and the choke sits higher than the base of the like if you were to set an air cleaner on, like if you go straight across, the choke is higher than that. So you have to make a bubble in the base. It's just like a lot more complex than a guy would think they'd have to be, but
Right. But it's done.
it's nice to have the tools that I could actually like. Some of it's like with the Pullmax, so that it takes a little bit longer to set it up than it does to make the part. But once you
Right.
have all that stuff figured out, it's like you can whip through getting the parts knocked out really fast because a lot of it's just like it took longer to cut the internal circles out of stuff, the internal oval and the internal circle, and getting all that stuff. That was like literally took the longest just to get it trimmed and make sure it's fitting really nicely. So it wasn't that bad. It's just mentally getting over the fact that I thought it was going to be put a collar on it and bolt it on, and yeah, definitely wasn't. But other than that, I don't know. I'd like to get some more work done on my car this next week. If I could sneak a night in, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Get that last roof panel fabbed out and at least rough fit on, so I can start getting the roof sides welded together. So
Keep some momentum going.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm gonna call on a car today, a car that you think is hideous. I
Hideous.
don't know if it's the. I mean, this is a car where if somebody else is already on the path to get it, that's fine. Like if it ends up working, it works, and I can see myself like maybe cutting that car up to a certain extent. Not that I want to buy a car and cut it up right away, definitely not. But can see modifying that body on that car and making it look way more cool than what it already is. But we'll see. I just got to call and see if it's still available. I don't even know if it's available yet. So
I don't imagine something like that's a hot seller though. So it probably is.
oh, that price is really good. I saw one about a year ago, and it was 10 grand more, and I thought that was a good deal.
Hmm. Like I said,
You know,
the
you
guts
break
of
it
it's
down in
good.
parts, you can't build it for that because I think that body on that car when you buy that kit, it's a kit card. But if you buy that kit, I think it's like 30, and that's no suspension, drivetrain, anything. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to see about pulling a Honda engine out of my beater car. So I don't know. Maybe I'll
I
get
mean,
on that and maybe I won't.
it's Sunday. What are you gonna do?
We'll find out.
Right? Right? No, I'm excited to get some sheet metal and build the firewall for this 58. Like I just because it's going to be a lot of like thumbnail shrinking and power hammer stuff, so that's going to be fun.
Nice.
It's so freaking cold. Nobody wants like the whole town shut down on Friday. Like everybody, like even City Hall closed because they don't want to travel to a heated building apparently. Yeah, so everything last week trying to get steel, just a steel place in town just to try and get some 18 gauge in there. Just no, everything's shut down. It's too fucking cold apparently.
Wild.
Yeah, pretty dumb.
Well, why don't you
Even
tell everybody where
churches, during COVID, all these churches stayed open. Closed today. Too cold.
Too cold. Why don't you tell everybody
Jesus,
where to find you online?
Hungry Hollow Customs on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Minimally on Facebook. I don't know. Where they gonna find you?
Find me everywhere at Terror Shark TV, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Right here on Fucking Cars.
Fucking cars.
Available in audio form everywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want to see it in video, you can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/F_CKINGCARS. And just for $5 a month, you can get all of our podcasts in video format, extra bloopers at the end, so you can get a little bit more feel. You can see some of the things we're working on, even some of our more inappropriate moments, and help support the channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification so you get notified every week when we post a new episode.
Oh man, I've been looking at this cheese just wanting to eat it this whole time. I don't even know why I brought it in here.
Slam your face, dude. Fucking like that.
Just cheese me.